What is up, and welcome to an all-new episode of On the Fly. I am your host, Katie DeFeo. Let's get into it. Last weekend, we had a huge slate of games as the college women's lacrosse season comes to a close. Teams are starting to find their identities as we move into conference tournaments, and then I'm going to be the first to say it. It's NCAA tournament time. In just a few short weeks, all of our favorite teams will be battling it out for an NCAA tournament championship. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's look at last weekend. First, we start in California, where I know I'm biased, but I want to highlight the Pac-12, specifically the University of Southern California Women of Troy. On Friday, USC played Cal at USC, and they let fans in for the first time all season. I finally got to watch my friends play lacrosse in real life without having to stand on my Home Depot step stool in the parking lot. Back and forth game the entire time with Cal. Very exciting stuff. And then we finally get to overtime, where USC's Kelsey Huff, aka my freshman year roommate, that's right, 40-40, Kelsey Huff with this game winner in overtime to lift USC over Cal. I was absolutely going insane. You can see my feet in the top left corner of the screen. Then the Trojans geared up to get ready to play Stanford on Sunday for senior day. This was the class that I came in with. Blood, sweat, and tears with this class. And it was their senior day. And this would have been my senior day had I stayed on the team. Obviously, life took me in a different direction. I chased a different life off the field, which led me to retire early. So obviously, I was there with all the alumni on Sunday in a safe COVID-compliant way. And we got to watch USC versus Stanford, which I've said in the past is always a really good game. If you guys will remember the first ever episode of this show, On the Fly, about 7 weeks ago, I had on the McMahons, the whole McMahon family. Izzy, who's been my best friend since freshman year, her little sister Michaela, who are both on USC, and then Daniela and Sophia, who are both on Stanford. I had them on because they were about to play. That game got canceled due to COVID stuff, so we didn't get a USC versus Stanford matchup until senior day. Now, USC has struggled a bit throughout this year. It's definitely a rebuilding year. They've still got a really good team. And Stanford, on the other hand, was undefeated coming into this game on Sunday. It's one of those games where it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how either team's season is going. They're just going to battle it out. You know it's going to be a close game. You know it's going to be a good one. The homie, 22, Izzy McMahon, had the best game of her entire life. I'm almost positive. She had 6 goals. It was so epic. I haven't been able to watch my friends play lacrosse in real life all season long. Finally got to go in there, and Izzy had the game of her life. I even FaceTimed Kerrigan Miller during the game. It was just a great way for me to spend my senior day, to be honest. To get a little personal here, I was at that game and I finally felt like that chapter of my life has closed in a very good way. Watching my friends out there playing the game of their lives against Stanford, it was so fun for me and so enjoyable. I was talking trash, having fun. Unfortunately, it brings me no joy to report that Stanford ended up winning on a last-second goal by Ali Biacco. It was tough. It wasn't great. I was pretty upset. I mean, you never want to lose, but I was so proud of the way that my friends fought in that game and kept it so close with Stanford. You know, regardless of what happens in Pac-12s and NCAAs, I know I'm biased, and I know you guys are probably like, oh my god, shut up about USC, but I just have to say, I'm so proud of the girls in my class, everything they've accomplished the last 4 years. It was one of the best honors of my life putting on that jersey, and it was an honor to fight with those girls for 3 years and to form some friendships that will last for a lifetime. Now, let's head back to the East Coast now. You have University of North Carolina, the Tar Heels, America's team, taking on UVA. Remember, the last game that UVA played was against Syracuse, where they were weirdly close at the beginning. They showed up. They gave them a run for their money. It's another one of those games where UNC has a formidable opponent and people overreact and think that UNC might lose, but they don't. They never do. They never will. They're America's team. UNC beat UVA 15-4 on the UNC senior day. Great day down in Chapel Hill. Let's go Heels. And now I want to talk about Boston College. Last Thursday, I had the pleasure of watching Boston College play Notre Dame in the first of the 2 games that they played this past weekend. It was domination in this game. BC came out hot early, and they really didn't let Notre Dame back into the game. Charlotte is absurd at lacrosse. We already knew this, but they've got some great players around her as well. It was an all-around team effort from BC to beat Notre Dame in that game on a Thursday. You love to see it for women's lacrosse. 2 top 5 teams battling it out like that. You genuinely love to see it. But they played again on Saturday. Oh, also Rachel Hall, little homie. She stood on her head. She stood on her head in the goal. Absolutely absurd. Player of the game in my eyes. We all know how hyped the BC offense is, but Rachel Hall leading that defense? Come on. Absolutely ridiculous game from Rachel. On Saturday, they beat them by a lot again. It was complete domination. Notre Dame came off of that very close game with UNC, but you gotta think, in that game against UNC, you gotta think. UNC comes into your stadium. You're probably having a great week before, thinking you're gonna beat them, and then you take them all the way down to the wire and lose. That's emotional. emotionally exhausting and physically exhausting. And then you got a short week. You got to fly to Chestnut Hill, Boston on probably Tuesday to get there for the game on Thursday. A little bit of a time zone change, I believe. I'm not an expert in that at all. Short week for Notre Dame, and I think we saw the effects of that on their play. Playing 3 games in 7 days like that is not easy. Notre Dame is still a very good team. The ACC tournament is coming up, and I expect it to be a classic of a tournament. Do not expect Notre Dame to go down easy. I'm saying it here first. In other news from last weekend, Syracuse absolutely dominated Louisville 19-7. I'm not shocked at all. I think Louisville had a good year. They've had some really close losses to good teams like I've said before, but Cuse all the way in that one. Northwestern beat Michigan by 9. Northwestern sick at lacrosse. Johns Hopkins beat Penn State 13-11. James Madison beat Towson 14-12, bouncing back from that Hofstra loss. And Rutgers got the best of Maryland. Shout out to Rutgers. Even though I'm the biggest Maryland fan that there is in the world, I just love a good upset, A. And B, shout out to Jules Henningberg. Rutgers, New Jersey, we are here. Game of the weekend this weekend to watch. Saturday, April 24th, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, Syracuse Orange versus the Boston College Eagles. What a matchup. 2 very good teams that have not lost a game in a little while, and I honestly think have not lived up to their full potential yet, which is scary. These matchups heading into conference tournaments are huge because it's going to affect seeding, and it's going to give the teams that win the confidence that they can go all the way in the conference tournament. The teams that lose, they're going to want revenge. The end of the regular season is always so exciting in women's lacrosse because these conferences are small, these conference tournaments are small, and everybody wants revenge on a team that they feel like got the best of them earlier in the season. Some of these conference tournaments start next weekend. These teams are playing, battling their hearts out in the regular season, and they're going to flip right around and have these crazy tournaments. So get excited. This weekend, Cuse BC. It's going to be a good one. My prediction: Eagles by 3. The Boston College Eagles by 3. Thank you guys for watching this episode of On the Fly. Make sure you get your Unleashed merch down below. Follow us on Instagram, please. It would mean so much to me. And make sure you get out this weekend and watch a women's lacrosse game. If you go in person, wear a mask. Stay socially distant. But if you're in the comfort of your own home, lay down on the couch, flip on a game, and just enjoy it. Because that is what memories are made of. Peace.